And tell us your name and what you do for a living.
Hi, I'm Maxwell Lahin, and I am a physicist, inventor, entrepreneur, and, well, I guess change maker. I'm 13, and I feel like I can change the world, and I've already started my positive impact on it.
What have you done? How have you changed the world so far?
So aside from inventing a whole bunch of different stuff that probably won't matter now, but my most recent thing, which has gotten me a little bit of attention online, is my energy device, where I extract electromagnetic energy from everything around us and convert it into electrical energy. In other words, a stream of unlimited energy. So, you know.
So, do you think you can solve our energy crisis here on planet Earth?
I believe I will, and I believe I already have solved the main problem. Now it's just a matter of, getting this out there.
And what do you need to be able to get this out there? You just need somebody to watch this video and say, here's some money, or what do you need?
Well, all I can think of really is support, Throughout history, people like me have been prosecuted and killed, murdered, and a lot of other very horrible things. And if I have support from a lot of people, I don't think that that will happen in our modern day and age. We're a little bit too civilized for that. So all I'm saying is that if you think the world should be a better place too, then, support.
Okay, so we started off by talking about my book, E equals MC squared, and the new definition of God, and you told me that you had already come to the same conclusion 3 years ago, and that my book was a dumbed-down version of your theory, which I think it's clearly the case. What is God?
So, we're in the United Nations.
Yes, and people walking around down in the basement here. Go ahead. What is God?
Okay, so a lot of people think God is, quite in the biblical sense, a guy sitting up on a cloud who controls the universe, frankly, and has created all life. But my definition of God is not like that. I don't believe God is a person or entity. God is just another form of energy. Well, actually, is energy. Himself, well, not even himself, itself. For the fact that if you look at the Bible and other really, awesome but extremely vague and unreliable sources in religion that, hold these sources that we find and facts that we find, or so-called facts that we find, and really a lot of people think it's just about faith. But if you relate the Bible to quantum physics and apply most of the laws actually in not less of a figurative sense, but more of a literal sense, and replace it with things like the universe, you'll eventually find out that it explains in-depth quantum physics and astrophysics, experiments and theories. Well, maybe not theories, because maybe now they're proven. Who knows? Maybe the Bible isn't a story of something that happened on Earth, but maybe a story of how our universe began. For the fact that, honestly, I don't really buy into the literal biblical sense, like, God is literally a guy who looks like us, who sits up in an alternate realm that's in our clouds and, watches over all of us. But I guess you could say that he's an energy form that created all, and is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. God, or energy, lives within us, through us, and
is us,
frankly.
So you said what? That God is the energy that is in us, created us, and is us. Is that your definition?
Yeah.
I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Sort of, yeah. God is energy. That's my thing. And I mean, you look at dimensional theory, and eventually we have, a singularity at the beginning of the universe that is energy. And then, eventually that begins to slow down in vibration due to entropy or some other law of that sort. And then, first you get photonic light, and then that slows down, and then we get matter, and then that slows down. And then who else knows what comes next? We have gravity, and then we have time, all coming in at one sense. I mean, does that sound like an origin story to you? It kind of does a little bit to me, but, maybe that's just a coincidence. Maybe these philosophers, or unreliable monks, we call them, that lived up in the mountains and wrote this weird book that doesn't have any factual evidence behind it, maybe they were quantum physicists ahead of their time, and maybe they're just trying to tell people who lived crazy long time ago, that there is an entire new quantum world out there. But, education wasn't too good back then, so I guess they had to simplify intense quantum physics to something that a 5-year-old could understand. Thus the Bible, right?
So you're saying people who believe in the Bible as written, as the Bible conventionally, are kind of like 5-year-olds?
Well, 500 years ago? No, sorry, 1,000 years ago, probably. But, more of like, I'm saying, maybe in the sense of not really, like, I honestly don't want to insult anybody at all. Some for your life. So, just saying that it's a coincidence. It's not fact. I'm not saying anything's anything. I have a very religious grandmother, so,
I have to tell you, I let you kind of struggle with this because I realized the question was a little bit perhaps impolite to some people. And the way you handled that was a way that my political and business clients, if they did it as well as you, I'd be incredibly proud. So the bottom line is that we keep evolving, right? And the Bible was written in different ways to interpret it. Now, you said something about the Bible and using the letters going backwards in the Fibonacci theory. Can you explain that? Because that's amazing.
In certain parts of the Bible, you can get literally, if you convert the letters to numbers.
Speak a little louder.
The Fibonacci sequence, if you invert, of course. But in certain important parts of the book, you'll take certain parts out and you'll get numbers, which seem random, but they're actually frequencies of resonance that line up with what's called the Fibonacci spiral. And the Fibonacci spiral is kind of weird for the fact that it's called literally God's thumbprint, which is a little bit weird considering that we have spiral galaxies, spirals in our thumbs, spirals in our ears. Literally, almost every organism on the planet or object we have found has had some sort of reminiscence of Fibonacci in it. And I don't know, it's called God's trademark or God's thumbprint, but I don't know.
So if you're the reincarnation of anyone, who do you think it would be, or who would you like it to be?
I honestly think that I'm Max Lawton, and that's who I am. So I'm gonna say Max Lawton. But I'm very proud of and I'm quite a big fan of Nikola Tesla. I mean, I'd like to be the reincarnation of him, but honestly, I think I'm just a student of his many teachings.
That's amazing. What's the favorite thing that he has invented or theorized about for you?
Honestly, I really like his work with electrostatic pulses when he harnessed Tesla coil powers and used it to wirelessly transfer energy through people, around people, and how he could light himself on fire but not be hurt by it, and that was pretty crazy. So I really like that.
That's very cool. So just a couple more questions. You're extraordinarily inspiring, and I agree with you on your definition of God, and wrote a children's book that basically says that. But you then, before when we were talking about infinity and different universes, and so we've kind of identified God. God is energy, right? All the energy in the universe, that's God. It's not a guy in the sky, it's
energy. Isn't something that you just have. Energy is on, and can't be, not all of the energy in the universe, it's energy. Energy happens to consume the entire universe and every other parallel dimension or universe that can ever exist in our dimensional reality, but...
Are there other universes? Are there other dimensional realities?
Dimensional realities? I'm not sure if we can prove that yet, but we do know that there are other dimensions.
Okay, how do you know that?
Well, there's an infinite number of numbers, which means there's an infinite number of frequencies that we can calculate. And if there's an infinite number of frequencies that we can calculate, that means there's an infinite number of frequencies that mass can take. And if mass can take an infinite number of frequencies, there must be an infinite number of dimensions. Or if you're one of those string theory guys, there's 10, or if you're an M theory guy, you say it's 11 dimensions. But as of right now, I'm just beginning to